All right, let's talk about some positive news for the Los Angeles Chargers defense. Lately, all the buzz has been about the offense. Draft strategy, skill positions. Who's the next big weapon? That's important, no doubt. But the defense is starting to come into focus, and there's a name rising up that fans should pay attention to: Kenneth Grant. While everyone's been locked in on offensive prospects like Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina, or potential first-round tight ends and wide receivers, there's a growing belief that the Chargers might shift gears a bit, especially when it comes to the trenches. Kenneth Grant, the powerful defensive tackle from Michigan, has been linked to the Chargers in a recent mock draft. And it makes sense, with new leadership in place, including Joe Hortiz, who comes from a Ravens system that always valued strength up the middle. A player like Grant fits right in. His connection to Michigan also ties in well with Jim Harbaugh's vision, a coach who's known for building tough, physical teams from the inside out. If the Chargers choose not to go offensive line early, don't be surprised if they go with someone like Kenneth Grant or even Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State. Both are dominant run defenders who bring toughness and consistency, traits this defense could really use. Up next, we'll dive into a defensive-focused mock draft and explore how these picks might shake out. It's easy to get caught up in the offensive hype, but remember, building a contender means balancing both sides of the ball. Oh, and if you haven't watched Kenneth Grant's film, get ready. He's surprisingly quick for his size, a real disruptor in the middle, a guy who could be a game-changer for this Chargers defense. Kenneth Grant's athleticism is wild. Despite being a massive presence on the interior, he moves with surprising quickness. He's not the most powerful guy in terms of raw strength, but he makes up for it with burst and agility, which is rare for a defensive tackle of his size. Now, let's be real. Not every rep is a highlight. Against Texas, there's a play where the center completely neutralizes him, just drives him out of the lane. That's part of the scouting process. You need to see the wins and the losses. But then, you flip on the tape from the USC game, and boom, Grant's impact is right back on display. There's also that now viral hustle play, where he chases down a running back across the field. Plays like that show effort, awareness, and just how much potential he brings. Bottom line, this guy can ball. And if the Chargers are looking to rebuild the defense with long-term pieces, Grant should be on their radar. So let's have a little fun. Time to run a defense-only mock draft and see how the board might fall if the Chargers go all in on that side of the ball. First up, Will Johnson somehow falls to pick 22. That's a steal. He's a top-tier corner with shutdown potential. Easy pick there. Next, let's address the edge. Jared Ivey is available. Not a flashy name, but solid value. Then we fill out the trenches a bit. Maybe grab a versatile interior lineman and look at safeties. Jordan Phillips from Maryland brings size and upside on the D-line, and R.J. Mickens could be a nice addition in the secondary. So there you have it. 4 straight rounds of defensive picks, and the unit's already looking stronger. Not every grade is an A, but it fills real needs and adds depth. Now, let's flip it. Time for an offense-only draft, which may be the more realistic route come April. First up, Matthew Golden is still on the board. He's been showing up in mocks consistently, and honestly, he's hard to pass on. Let's take him and see how this offensive mock shapes up. All right, now let's jump into the offense-only mock draft, and this one starts with a bang. At pick 22, we land Matthew Golden, and honestly, he might be the most talented wide receiver in the entire class. Getting him that late? Absolute steal. Next up, Elijah Arroyo, a tight end with serious upside and a player we've kept our eye on. Explosive, athletic, and could bring a new dynamic to the Chargers offense. Then it's time to build up the interior. Damon Martinez from Miami gives us versatility on the line, either at guard or center. Solid value, strong fundamentals. And to round it out, we take a swing on Seth McLaughlin at center. He's not going to light up the scouting reports, but he's dependable and can provide depth where it matters. Grades? Golden's an A+, Arroyo's a B+, Martinez is solid, and McLaughlin might not be flashy, but he gets the job done. Overall, not a bad haul at all if the Chargers go all in on offense. But here's the thing. Don't forget about the defense. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of flashy skill players, but if this team wants to compete deep into the season, they've got to be solid on both sides of the ball. Let me know in the comments, would you rather see the Chargers go heavy on offense or build up the defense first? Drop your favorite prospects or mock scenarios below.